you know how long I've been looking forward to this interview because it's something we talked about a while ago. Um, and preparing for this, I was going back, I was listening to some of your songs, and I wanted to find a way to lead into the first question, and I found my way. And what instantly came out at me was your latest single, Magnificent Evolution. So much of who you are as an artist, as a person, it's expressed through your music. And when I heard your latest song, Magnificent Evolved, I just started going like, yep, yep. These lyrics nailed the journey on the head. And there were a few lines in particular I would like to share with the listeners as context for the question, if that's cool with you.
Yeah, of course.
All right, here it goes. Good life, and yes, I'm still living. Mad pivots, new path, same vision. Know what I want, there's more ways to get it. Look back like D, what we did
We did
it.
it.
And this is the best part of this line for me. I don't think you understand. Feel good moving from a vision to a plan. Stay real. Always share the mission with my fans. And the fans became the fan who took the vision and ran it.
Right. When you say it like that, it sounds so deep and so like, yeah.
I appreciate that. But here's what popped up for me. Thinking about these lyrics, right, and all the work you and I have done together, and like in the last few years, everything for you that happened leading up to this song,
Mhm.
what were some of the key lessons and moments you had to experience to evolve to this point?
Yeah, I think the song Magnificent, I originally released it in 2011. That was my first version. But fast forwarding to now, a lot of change happened over the last 5 years. So between 2011, when I put the song out, I started touring in 2013 and had all of the amazing things that came with that: radio, newspaper, just so many things. And when I talk about fans becoming fam, I was in Tampa at the time, and the city got behind me and put me on their back and said, "Go get it!" Right. So I had an amazing, probably 7, 8 years. 2020, things got weird. Right. We won't go
Yeah,
into all of that, but things
that's
got
putting it
weird.
lightly.
Let's put it weird. Yeah, put it lightly. And things were going so great until that point. I was in LA. I had just got signed to an agency to do some print commercial modeling, and that was in February 2020. Everything shut down. So that was like a really critical time of, okay, so who are you when you're not on stage? Who are you when you're
Hmm.
not performing? Who are you when you're not shining bright and everything's magnificent and all good, right? And it was hard. Like a lot of people are like, oh, it was the best thing that ever happened to me. I pivoted. I made tons of money. For me, it sucked. It was terrible. No way to sugarcoat that. It was hard. It was hard. And I really, I thought it was over for a while. But after a little while, I started getting online. We talk about the fans becoming fam, doing online workshops, or just going live and talking to people and healing together during this time and sharing and using creativity as that tool to connect. And it was so powerful just using your gift in a different way. For me, using my gift in a different way, in such an
Yeah.
intimate way, and connecting
Yeah.
with these people. And they really got behind me and pushed me, like, when I was ready to get
Mm,
back out there. We're still here for you. We still want to hear this new music, when you're ready though.
mm.
And after some time, started making music again, got back to LA because I left for a little while when the pandemic first hit. Got a residency at a studio and started creating, putting music out again. And some of the
Okay.
key lessons during that time was that you're always with you, no matter what's going on, right? So when I'm like, well, who am I without that? Who are you? You're still Di. The
Mm,
dynamics have shifted a little bit, but all of your messages and your music, that's still you. Now
yeah.
it was almost like this is time for you to take those messages and apply, really deeply apply it to you. Like I was listening to old songs, like I'm talking to myself. Remember you the girl that go follow your dreams. You make it happen.
Yep.
Wake up, come back, come back.
Oh,
So that was critical. And then also just really seeing how people were with me. They still saw the vision. They still saw me whole and still supported me and were there when I was ready to release music and come back to the scene again. So many lessons that I could go into, but those are, I think, really two of the main things that goes along with evolving, remembering who you are and then tapping into the people who really rock with you and who want to see you win.
Thank you for sharing this, because it brings me back to that moment when so much changed for all of us. And framing this from the lens of your journey is so powerful, because you actually got to practice what you're preaching on stage, what you're
Yeah.
living and what you're embodying. It's no longer words, it's your life. When you think about all those moments of connection you've had with your fans, especially leading up to the pandemic and getting through it, is there like one story in particular that comes to mind about a fan who took the vision and ran with it in their own life?
Oh my gosh, there are so many stories. People have written me about how the original Magnificent helped them get through their studies, to, master's programs, getting degrees. People have shared with me about how songs of relationships help them either cut somebody off that needed to be cut off or heal a relationship, right? I
Yep.
have a song called Forgiveness. I know you asked for an example, but just a couple of quick ones. I have a song called Forgiveness about healing that relationship and growing up without a father and what that's like. And there are people who say,
Mm,
hey, this helped me in the same dynamic or even in other relationship dynamics, because ultimately forgiveness is forgiveness, right? Be
mm,
it a parent, a sibling, a friend, whatever, business colleague. So people have shared so many stories in person, via DMs. My favorite
mm,
thing is being at a show when somebody's sharing after a show, hey, I want to talk to you about this. This is how this song helped me. So those are just a couple or two or three of the examples of people reaching out and sharing how the music has helped them and kept them going.
mm.
And the music it was always me sharing my life, but it's easy when things are great.
Yeah.
It's easy
Yeah.
when you're touring twice a year internationally. You're on top of the world.
Yeah.
But by the time you have time to get stressed or sad about something, you're traveling again. So it's all good.
Yeah.
And that was my whole, all the way to 2020. And in 2020, when there was none of that, then it was like, okay, so now, okay, living these lyrics when it gets real.
Yes.
Oh, it's next level, you know?
I mean, I'm actually curious for you evolving out of that space, because you made a great point, right? Like when you're traveling and you're moving, there's really no time to sit with the discomfort of the stuff you're going through, because you're in constant motion. I am really curious to know, for you, was there ever a moment, either recently or maybe from years ago, when your creativity helped you survive something no one else saw you going through?
Oh, definitely. When I look back on the pictures of myself and the videos, when like that first March 2020 through 2021, right? I
Yeah.
can see in my eyes how sad I was. I can look at a video, that's I was playing with Snapchat and trying to keep myself entertained. I was so bored, you know,
Yeah.
and but I can see like, oh, that must have been a day when I was probably crying. You can't now the naked eye, if you don't know me like that, you don't know, which most people don't see that side of me.
Mm,
Strong, keep together.
hmm.
Most people don't know that. So you wouldn't, but I can look at a picture or a video and go, whoa, that was a hard day. I remember
Wow.
that day. And the first song that really started bringing me out of that is my song, Come to Me. And Come to
Mm,
Me says, call all the good stuff to you. All the good stuff. So what are you calling into your life? What are you calling? I'm calling myself out of this funk. I'm
hmm.
calling myself out of this pandemic depression because I was super depressed, like beyond, you know?
Yeah.
How am I even going to get out of this? So Come to Me, the creativity, that was a song that absolutely helped pull me out of that, got me dreaming again. Oh my gosh. The first word, money flow to me, abundance flow to me, good life come to me, bad vibes run from me. Like it's affirmations. It's coming. It's coming. You might not see it right this second. You're going to figure it out. You've done it before, you know? So there was that. And then the creativity of doing my, lives and connecting with people and giving writing prompts and having people create with me. Super helpful
Mm.
to just shift in that energy and helping me to get out of that space.
You know what's beautiful about what you just said is, because, you and I have had these conversations about the journey evolving, with your personal brand, with your life and your career and all the stuff that you're doing. And the stuff that keeps popping up, one of the big things is about self-love,
Yeah.
right? And the self-love standard is the heart of really, your work and what you do.
Mhm.
I struggled for years with this idea of going easy on myself. Like, I don't know what it is. It's like a mechanism that no matter how hard I try to cut off, it's like giving myself grace and patience
Mhm.
and understanding. Sometimes it's as simple as like giving myself permission to take a friggin' break when I
Yeah.
need it. What, from your personal experience, has that journey been like for you in terms of getting to a space where you are giving yourself permission to like love yourself and take care of yourself? What were some of the
Yeah.
things you've learned about this journey from pandemic to now?
It's so funny, until you sit down and really intentionally think about the past 5 years since then, sometimes you don't realize how much shift has occurred, right? It shows the
Hmm.
self-love standard. I'm wearing my self-love standard earrings. I'm loving the earrings say, I'm loving myself. Your love is a bonus, right?
Yes.
I definitely learned that during the
Mm.
pandemic. Hey, you gotta, all right, let's get really real and totally transparent. During the pandemic, I got into this relationship, a little whirlwind thing. And he's cool. Cool dude, right?
Mm.
But it probably wouldn't happen if it wasn't like the pandemic and just getting caught up in this, you know what I mean? And
Yep.
and cool dude, but didn't really like the whole of me like that. Dynasty, oh yeah, she cool. She's met me on stage. She's cool. So what happens when I'm not on stage and it's just us and we just have to talk and be
Hmm.
friends, right? Quickly realize, oh, yeah, that's not what this is. You want to talk about a critical time about learning how to make sure you love yourself, to give yourself care, adoration, affirmations when you're not
Mm.
getting that in a dynamic, kind of forces you to go, okay, well, if I am kind of, I don't want to say stuck in close proximity, but it was the pandemic, you kind of in close quarters, right?
Yeah. No
If I
choice.
feel like I'm not getting that type of care, consistency, so and so, in this dynamic, I can't go anywhere else. I'm stuck in a house.
You're stuck. That's it.
I
You're in
better
the
figure
bubble.
out how to give it to myself, right? If I'm going to survive this thing. So
Wow.
that was a huge part of it. And it just stayed with me after. And that's something that I'm so grateful for. And again, no shade to homie. You know what I mean? No
Yeah.
shade because I'm grateful for the lesson
Yeah.
that really shifted my life. Because when I did get back to LA, I was on had a new mindset when it came to love, when it came to self love, when it came to self care, when it came to boundaries, what was important to me, what made me feel loved, right? And knowing that it starts here. And from that birth a line and a movement of self love standards, self love. Your love is a bonus. Of course, we want external love. Of course, we want people to love us and care for us and all of that good stuff and validate us and affirm us. People who are like, I don't care. I don't need validation. Blah, blah. Yes, you do. It's human
Yeah, you
nature.
do.
Yeah, you
We
do.
all
It's
do.
human
Yeah.
nature. We all do. But it has to start here. And just the things that have come from that, starting it there for me, career wise, relationship wise.
Well, we're
You
going
know
to
what I
dive into that
mean?
next.
It's so it's been really life altering, really tapping into that. So I'm grateful for that part of the lesson that came during that time.
Thank you for going there with me. I mean, I asked that question one just out of purely for selfish reasons and curiosity, right?
Hmm.
But seeing how you've evolved yourself and all the work you're doing, um, it brings me to this next question, which is I
Okay.
have to take a moment to say congratulations on the recent engagement.
Thank you.
Because I don't know if I shared this with you, but when you told me a story about how you and your fiance James met,
Yes, yes.
I made a note to myself. I was like, I am going to ask her this question during the interview, um, which is because it was such a beautiful example of how
Yeah,
when you show up authentically and you shine your light, right, you will eventually attract the right people into your life. So without further ado,
absolutely.
can you share for the listeners the story of how you and James met?
Yeah. And shouts to you for remembering his name. That's so cool.
I take notes.
the the short version is in 2022, I made a decision that I wanted to move back to the East Coast. Um, this is kind of crazy, but I just felt like something was brewing and I needed to be my family is in New York and Tampa, and I felt like I
Hmm.
needed to be on this side around people who knew Diana, right? Who knew me beyond what I do. Didn't want to go to either homes, first home or second home, and just pick Charlotte. Let me just go to a new city and see what it's like there.
Yeah.
Land in the city. I also knew dating wise, it was not going to happen in LA. Sorry. If you're watching this in LA, prayers. No, there are wonderful people. There
I
are
feel you.
wonderful
I
people.
hear you on that.
Harry, you got it, Ken. You good.
Yeah, but
But
I'm
listen,
rare. I'm the rare exception. Let's be real.
it's a little interesting. No, there are wonderful, wonderful people, but oftentimes when you're in the entertainment industry, so much of friendships and relationships are based on what you do. So
Hmm.
you have that added layer of just trying to get to know people, right? Anyway, so I felt like it wasn't going to happen there for me. And so I said, let's just go see what's on the East Coast. Let's just go
Yeah.
over there. 6 months in, well, by the time we connected, it was about 6 months in, 6, 7 months in. But it's just the craziest series of events. I get invited to do a festival. Somehow he also gets invited to do this festival. So we're both in
Huh.
this group message. But even before that, one of his friends had shared my music in their stories and he saw it and was like, oh, it's pretty dope. I mean, just follow the music, and just
Hmm.
connected that way. So organically, happened to see a video. Then we happened to be in this group chat for a show, you know, and then starts making a little conversation. I'm like, I'm Larry now. LA did a number. I mean, I don't know who you are, So, you know, but I'm like,
Uh-huh.
wow, full conversations, like thoughtful, thoughtful messages. And then none of it
Yeah.
is, oh, what you do, what you do, what you do, and how can you help me and how can we, you know.
Yep.
Also an artist, a creative, really super talented. So that mutual respect there. And then, I just said, hey, I got an event going on. You should come out to the show. But before that, like I said, the lady had already invited both of us to this festival and popped up. Popped up.
Bless
I
her.
was wearing a Dream Pusher shirt that day too. It was cute. It was real cute. I think it was pink and cream or something,
Hell
and
yeah.
walked in and since then, that was July 2023. And
Wow.
since then, locked in, and December 1st is when this happened. But yeah, just awesome. Really, really grateful. And another lesson of just like going for yours and saying, hey, let me go see what's out there. People are like, what? You're leaving? You're creative. Why would you leave here? I'm like,
Hmm.
something says to go. 6 months in, beautiful, healthy, happy, wonderful relationship.
Yeah.
4 years in LA, ducking and dodging. I'm just it was cool, but
It's all good. We're owning our truth. That's the point of the show. Oh my God. You
so
know,
that's the story there.
this, thank you for sharing this. This is why I
Yeah.
love this story. Cause I mean, I remember the journey
Yeah.
and hearing this, I remember I was so happy for you when you made the decision just to leap because I heard this great quote. I'm going to butcher it, but it's something like, in order to get what you've never had, you have to do the thing you've never done.
Yeah.
And I think you really honored the process of just like, I'm being nudged to go. I have to go.
Yeah.
Like for you, now that you're in a relationship and you're communicating and you're vibing, you're on the level. For you, what's it like being in a relationship where you're connected with someone,
Mhm.
your partner, your significant other, and you're both artists and creatives in your own way?
Yeah, it's really cool to partner with someone who gets it, who gets creativity, who gets the creative brain, right?
Yeah.
What you need for that, what's your ideal situation, and who can also make creativity out of any moment. So we can just be doing something. Oh, this is a cool spot. Let's shoot a visual real quick. Let's shoot a quick little snippet for
That's
your
awesome.
song, and then one song is playing the music and the other camera's recording the music video. You can't do that with everybody. People get your angles all wrong, get you all messed up. You can't do, they're just the little things that you can't do with everyone. Pictures, content,
Hmm.
right? Because now everything is content. But really just that support beyond that, just the support of going through. Ken, we've been working together, what,
Yeah.
3 years?
I
A
think it's
while
been
now.
a while now. Yeah. It's been a while.
And you know me, sometimes I'm like, hey, yeah, I'm out of here. Like, it's been real. And you're like,
Bye.
okay, Dad, we'll talk soon. You know, like, you know, check in with me later. You're so patient. You know, sometimes I'm just like, hey, I'm not feeling it. I don't think I want to do the thing. But that goes with you're creative too. So I'm sure you have we all have our moments, right?
Yep.
But having someone who understands that and doesn't just go, oh well, yeah, go ahead and give it up. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you're not feeling it this week? All right, shut your page down and don't worry about it. And someone who encourages you and inspires you to keep going, because when you might be in a lull, maybe they're on their creative high and they're shining, and you get to support them and find your inspiration. Being in the studio together is fun, you know.
Mm.
Performing together is fun. Having someone, he can be a
Mhm.
ghostwriter sometimes. Shh, ghostwriter. You know,
I won't
finish
say
this
a
line
word.
for me. What would you say here? I'm stuck. I got, you know, a verse is 16 bars, right? I
Hmm.
got 15. How do I end this?
How do I
You know what I
close
mean?
this out?
Help me.
Yes.
Help me. You know, so those are just some ways that, you know, having a creative as a partner kind of helps,
Mm.
you know, what it's like having that experience. And it's really cool. I'm super grateful for it.
That's so cool because I think there's so much joy in being able to share your creative process with someone else, even if it's like little snippets here and there. I have to ask you this question, if it's okay if we can dive into the stepmom journey. So, one of the trippiest and most adorable experiences to like ever happen to me as a parent is when I started playing some of the music I love for my son
Mm-hmm.
and like watching him truly vibe with the stuff that dad likes.
Yeah.
This to the point where this year he decided on his birthday theme, which is Nirvana.
Mm-hmm.
Entirely my fault. So, but it's honestly, it brought to mind this question because it's been fun to connect with my son through music and to introduce him to all these artists he probably wouldn't have discovered on his own.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now that there's a kiddo in your life, have you experienced any conversations and moments that have given you a new perspective on your music or maybe even your life?
Oh, a new perspective on music. Well, it's been fun with the music, and so my fiance actually has two kiddos.
Two step kiddos.
And
Okay.
yeah, yep. And so 13-year-old girl and a 7-year-old boy. Shouts to our 13-year-old. She's actually right in the living room.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, so it's really cool watching her with music because like she knows all the new stuff, but she
Hmm.
also has a great ear for the good like well, I mean I say the new stuff isn't the good stuff, but you know, for us
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like
Hmm.
the
We have
like
a
we went
different
to
perspective.
we went to a Cole concert, a J. Cole concert. So for like me and her dad, that's like hip hop,
Mm,
like spitting bars, you
there
know what
you
I mean?
go.
So like sitting behind her, seeing her like like just going in on the songs is like, okay. So I'm looking at him like, you did good. You did
You
good. You
did
know,
good.
that's really cool, you know. And the little like it's really cool watching it. And of course they know their dad's music, you know, so that's always fun
Hmm.
to see, you know, and learning kind of some of our stuff, but watching him do his dad's music or freestyling. We'll have these little freestyle sessions, which is really cool. That's super fun. You know what I mean? Like I've got videos of just being in the car and then it'll just get going. Like some, you know, and he's in the back seat just going in and we're like, oh my gosh, you know? So that is like a really something that's super special. You know, those types of things are really cool experiences to get to have. So I get what you mean when you say like just seeing that. It's like,
Yeah,
it's pretty neat, you know?
it is.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing that because I think so much of what I'm going through now as a parent is like looking at things from a different lens. And I start asking myself questions that I wouldn't have asked if my
Yeah.
son hadn't brought them up. Or I'm thinking
Yeah.
about stuff differently now.
Yeah.
Um, one of these is a question that I've been dying to ask you.
Yes.
So, if you could create an alternative educational experience and teach the
Mhm.
top three most important life lessons that we don't learn in school, what would they be?
Oh man. So I used to run a youth program for many years. And what we did with the creativity and the music was we kind of used that to jokingly say, like, trick the kids into these lessons, right? Because these
Hmm.
things that you aren't really learning in just everyday curriculum. And so there are the things that are like just how much being intentional about who we want to become, right?
Mm.
So, we'll say to young people, what do you want to be when you grow up? But do we have conversations about what it takes to create that life for yourself, even at 13, 14? Like these are critical years. Do we
Mm.
have conversations about, and now our children are maturing so much faster because of access, right?
Yep.
So are we having those conversations about how who we are now is leading us into who we'll become later, right? How our
Mm.
decisions now matter, not in a way that applies pressure, like you have to be excellent now if you want to be great later, but let's be kind now because kindness is important and being a success and connecting with all types of different people, right? Let's learn
Hmm.
respect now because being respectful is important. Let's learn to respect ourselves and how we carry ourselves now, because that is important when it comes to business and how we present ourselves and when we're pitching ourselves and wanting to connect with businesses and so on and so forth, right? So
Mm.
that was one of the things, just the intentionality and let's get our brains going and having our vision you can change it along the way as much as you want. But who we're becoming as a person really
Mm.
matters. And that's something that I don't think is really, you might get a teacher who instills that. But as far as
Yeah.
curriculum, not so much, right?
Yep.
That's one thing. The perseverance aspect, going for yours, pushing for your dreams, pushing. Of course, you can pivot, you can change. The dream might change. Today, I might want to play football. Tomorrow, I want to play basketball. Or next semester, I want to play whatever. It can change. But the core of it, when I'm in it, and it is something that I say I want. Am I really going for it? Am I fully applying myself? Am I allowing myself to try new things? Oh man, I've been looking at baseball, but I don't know. Not a lot of my friends play it, but I think I'd be good at it. Uh, am I holding myself back based on what's going on around me, or am I being true to myself and giving myself that opportunity? Right. So going
Mm.
for yours and persevering in that, going for yours and sticking to it. Not
Mm.
necessarily the one thing, but whatever it is that you're choosing in the moment, being present and really going for it. So I think that's also something. And then another big thing was connection. That was something that like connects the whole anti-bullying thing. That has, but when I was in the school system, I really think it was around a time where we were really starting to see a big shift, like
Yep.
mid 2013, 2014, the music that was becoming more prevalent, just the TV shows. That's when we really saw a change in, like, I was in middle school and just the way they spoke to each other, and it was really
Yeah.
heartbreaking for me. It's a big part of why I actually shifted out of that industry, where I'll still show up anywhere, anytime as a guest, but why I shifted out of running a program, because it was really heartbreaking for me to see,
That's hard.
But
Yeah.
using the creativity as a tool to connect them and bring them together. And let's find our similarities and let's
Mm.
support each other. We'll do these activities where I would have somebody walk in the front and we're going to clap it up like they just did the best performance ever, right? So I don't know what was happening before I walked in a room between these two, but right now it doesn't matter because we're having fun and we're creating and we're supporting each other and we're clapping it up and we're doing affirmations for each other. Get in the middle. We're all going to shout out some things that we love about you. We're encouraging you.
Oh,
So
gosh,
using
it's
that stuff
amazing.
to really build and teach connection and the importance of caring for each other and how we can use creativity as a way to see our similarities and support each other. I think those are the things that if I did it again, I would definitely incorporate. But if somebody else out there wants to do it and just have me come in sometimes, that's cool too. I'll do
I may know
that.
some people. I'll let you know.
Yeah. Let me know.
You know what I thought about as you're chatting and sharing this with me? You have been a guide and you have been a mentor to a lot of people. And I guarantee you the impact you've made in people's lives goes above and beyond the DMs that you've received, meaning someone received what you're putting out there and they're having a journey they may not share with you, but doesn't mean you're not making an impact. Who was your guide? Who was your mentor? Was there ever someone that just like opened things up for you the way you were opening things up for so many others?
You know what? This is That's such a good question, and my answer is a bit different. As like I almost was mostly inspired by someone who didn't get to do all of the things.
Hmm.
So my mom, when she had me, she suffered with mental illness, and it really took her life from her. She went through a lot of things, and I wasn't raised by her, but I would see her through visitation, and just saw her go through a lot in and out of the hospital,
Hmm.
psychiatric units. Just had some good days, but had a lot of tough times, right?
Hmm.
And eventually had dementia, stopped speaking, and was institutionalized
Hmm.
for quite a while until passing a few years ago.
Hmm.
And that's tough, right?
Yeah.
Seeing that, witnessing that is probably one of my greatest inspirations
Hmm.
because who knows what she could have been? She was so smart.
Yeah.
Who knows what her life could have been had she not experienced certain things that kind of put her in that state, right? So
Hmm.
I feel like I owe it, to myself and to her. Like
Hmm.
I've always felt like I owe it. Like I've got this gift, I've got gifts, I've got the gift of life,
Hmm.
right? Like who am I
Hmm.
to not go for mine? Who am I to not live fully?
Hmm.
To and then in that journey encourage somebody else along the way, because that's a little bit of my story that most people don't know, and it goes even deeper than that. But people are going through so much every day. We don't know.
Yeah.
And if me showing up and using my voice and using my gift, either through performances, through the songs, or through workshops or whatever, can encourage someone on their journey to show up for themselves fully and to live out loud, go big, push their dreams, I feel like I am honoring
You are.
those who didn't get to, specifically, my mother, So that is a big part of my inspiration. I can't say that I had like this one person who was too, there were some couple of people, but that's probably the biggest part of my inspiration is what she did not get to do and who she
Hmm.
could have been. And I'm still here. Like
Hmm.
I better work this thing. I better milk it.
That's
I
it.
better go for it and try to bring somebody along on the way, you know?
Thank you for sharing that, my friend. I really appreciate going there with me. Um, I ask it because I think, look, from personally, I've always been excited by what is that spark that ignites the rest of who we decide we want to become and what keeps us on that path because we
Yeah.
never know.
You
Like,
never know. You can be
you never
looking
know.
straight in someone's eyes and you have no idea what their story is,
No,
what
they're
they're
going through a
carrying.
whole journey they know
Yeah.
nothing, we know nothing about.
Nothing. Nothing.
Um, well, let's dive deeper. This is
Okay.
always part of the interviews. And I asked this question of myself years ago when I was in a very dark place myself. And I use it as a way to just sort of clarify and recheck, check in with myself. Um, if some unfortunate accident were to happen, today was the end, God forbid, in this moment in your life, what would be your biggest regret?
I think not going even harder with some of the opportunities that I was presented with and allowing myself to talk myself out of things. When I moved to LA, I'm like, oh, I'm going to do some modeling stuff. I had cut my hair, it was bald, she was cute, and still
Yeah.
got there and just had imposter syndrome. Met awesome people who were willing to help me with opportunities, but so many times ran into that because you go from being this big fish in a smaller pond in Tampa, everybody was like, Dynasty, go, go, go. And then you
Hmm.
show up in this new place, and I still felt pretty much the dream pusher going for mine, but had a little bit of just a little timid with some opportunities that I know in retrospect, if I would have just put my foot on the gas
Hmm.
consistently, could have been some game changers. So, and I'm grateful for where I am and all of that good stuff, but that is something that I look back on like, dang, what if you just really said, get it, you
Hmm.
know, took followed up. I don't like following up. You know that. I don't like to keep emailing people. I'm like, I emailed you. I know you saw it. You ain't replied to me. Okay, whatever. Moving on. No, you got to go hard. You got to follow up.
Yep.
You got to stay on it. And so those are some of the things that I didn't do that I'm like, dang, in retrospect, I would have done that differently.
I feel like so many people can. resonate with that. In the same breath, what would be your most peaceful thought or realization that you've lived a good life?
Just the level of fulfillment I've had in this life. Like, I used to say, you know what, if this is it, then it was worth it. And I'm like, maybe you shouldn't have said that. You know what I mean? Because things are still moving. That's when I was touring, you know, and not that I
Yeah.
want to be gone all the time touring, but you know what? Let me stay grateful. I was just in Belgium last year, so let's not act like it's not happening anymore. See, you see, real time, intrusive thoughts, negative,
Captured on camera.
real time. So it was. Wait, you were just there. What are you talking about? Real time checking yourself. You see how it goes? But just knowing, like, yo, you've really connected with so many people through creativity, you know, and that has been so fulfilling. Like having these moments, connecting with people, um, sharing, creating spaces for other people to be vulnerable with their creativity and shit. So not only just performing, but creating spaces for people to show up and go, oh shoot, I am creative. I didn't know. Because a lot of people think
Mm-hmm.
they aren't. But you get in a room and you just put some things out there. Hey, no pressure. Let's talk about this. And so I like to do my workshops and I'll come with some prompts and I'll say, take this prompt. You can write a poem, a song, a rap. You can write a list. You can write a list because creativity is just finding ways to do stuff, right? You can write a
Mm-hmm.
list if you want to. You can write a letter, write a note, whatever comes to you, and then share that with us. And you know, people will just write some things down, and what by the time they start to share and get that confidence in what they're saying, it can be the simplest thing. They start going, "Oh, the way I said that was creative. The way I used,
Mm.
I added a little inflection here, and I did this, and it's a list of chores. You know what I'm saying? Like it's in you. So just things like that, the joy and the fulfillment of that. And thank you for saying earlier that there are people who may not have DMs or who may not have told me what impact, what the impact has been, right? But
Yeah.
just today, I saw a picture of some kids from a camp that I did in 2017. So that's how many years ago now, right? 8 years, right? Was my math right? 2017 to 2020,
I
that's three
think
plus
so.
five,
Yeah.
that's eight, right?
That's it.
You got to
Yep.
break it down. 6, 7, 8, right?
Nailed it.
And they're all grown. And some of
Mm.
them are still in touch, you know? And even if they're not in
Wow.
touch, some of them, one of them calls me mom, which is really crazy because, like, yeah, you legit could be my child. Whoa, where did the years go, right?
Yeah.
Some of them are grown and they still reach out to me on social media to show me their accomplishments, what they're doing, graduated high school, in college, just doing
Oh,
their thing, right? And even the ones who aren't really in touch, I can see it, you know, and I can see how they're moving throughout the world. And of course, props to their parents. I'm not saying it's all because of me, but just to know, or seeing, watching a young person be shy about her voice and seeing her now post in college, you know, and posting singing videos. When she was in my camp, she was like, you know,
oh, that's amazing.
that. Those are the things where at the end I'm like, you did well.
Mm.
You did what you came here to do. You inspire some folk, you encourage some folk, you were an ear, you show people themselves, help people see themselves fully. You know, you went for it, you faced your fears and traveled alone to cities, countries you've never been to, on trains and
Yeah.
planes and all
By
kinds of stuff
yourself.
by yourself, you know. And just by doing that, people watched and were inspired.
Mm.
That's the stuff right there that you go.
You know what's so beautiful about all of this is, for sure, props to parents, but past a certain age, by the way, the major impact and the framework that kids use to find out who they are comes from their external environment.
Mm. Yeah.
So my thoughts on that, it's a blatant plug for you. Like there needs to be a dynasty in every city, every
Hey.
every organization. Let's go. To close things out, my friend, according to Diana, what does it mean to own your truth?
To own your truth means to have a willingness to show up as your authentic self, whatever that looks like for you, knowing that people will talk, knowing that people will have their own opinions. Some will love it and some won't like it no matter what you do, right? It just is what it is. Even the most likable person that someone would go, how could you not like Lisa, right? Somebody doesn't like Lisa for some reason, right? That probably has nothing to do with Lisa, right? Owning your truth is showing up anyway. So despite the opinions and despite your own internal dialogue too, who are you to do that? You were just here and you think you're gonna go out there and do X, Y, Z. This is who your mom was. This is who your family was. This is where you come from. You think, oh, you're gonna show up and try to tell somebody else or show somebody your own internal thoughts. I'm not good enough. I was great here, but now I'm here. This is a bigger place. The stakes are higher. The stage is bigger. Maybe I should go. All of the things that come up. Choosing to still show up, nervous, wobbly. I've had time now, I can kind of get on stage. But even still, if it's a new thing, I might get on stage and you might not see it in the audience, but don't let me hold a piece of paper because you might see a little, the phones make it easier. The phones are a little easy, a little more sturdy, but there's a little shake sometimes, right? But I'm still going to show up because, right, I got called to be on this stage. I'm moving into the corporate spaces now, right? I got an invitation to be in this room with these executives, with these business owners. Okay, before I walk out there, I'm like, but once I'm there, right? That's owning your truth. The truth is, I've been doing this work. Even when I doubt myself, and you're like, hey, this is great. You could just do this. And I'm like, what? What? I don't know how to just make it go from here to here. I'm pretty sure you've told me this this is the work you've been doing. It's just a matter, the packaging it a certain way, putting it together. But you got the receipts. You've done the work.
You've got a track record.
Own it. Own it. Own it. So remembering those things and showing up regardless of what's going on around you and within you, to me, is really owning your truth.